Good evening, children. So, if you remember, in the last class, we had discussed about the East India Company, how European nations found a new sea route to India, and different European nations such as the Portugal, England, the Netherlands, France, they came to India and they established their trade centers at various places. And then we also discuss about mercantilism, that is the control of trade and business or any kind of economic activities by the government. Then we also had discussed about India being the eye for almost every European nations, because India was a good market for them where they could sell their products. Then we also discuss about how the East India Company got the permission to carry out trade in India and the different territories occupied by different European nations. Then we also discuss how the East India Company defeated all its rival and started to do trade with India. So today we shall discuss about how the East India Company that came to trade with India slowly and slowly started to gain a strong foothold in India. Now, the main aim of the British East India Company was to earn more and more profit by carrying out trade in India. So as a result, in the year 1717 AD, now in the book it's given 1715 AD, actually it's 1717 AD. At the time, the Mughal emperor was Farrukh Shiar. Now Farrukh Shiar had issued a farman, that is given a permission to the East India Company, and according to this farman, the East India Company can carry out trade anywhere in India without paying any tax. That is what the farman permits to the East India Company. Now, the East India Company, mainly at the time, their main center of trade was Bengal, Bombay, and Madras. So it's where they can carry out trade free of custom duty. But yeah, in return, they have to pay an annual tax to the king, Farrukh Shiar, that is about rupees 3,000. Apart from that, they don't have to pay any kind of taxes according to this farman. Then other things that they can carry out with this farman is that they can mint their own coins. The East India Company can issue or mint their own coins. And then they also have permission, but that is out of this farman, that the East India servants who are working in the East India Company, they can also do trade anywhere across India, but they have to pay taxes because it is out of the farman if any private servant want to carry out trade. And also, this farman allows the East India Company to issue passes, that were known as dastaks. Now, this farman later on became the reason for the dispute between the Nawabs of Bengal and the East India Company, because the Nawab, they were not happy with this farman that the East India Company can carry out trade in Bengal free of custom duties. Now, more and more English began to come to India in large number, and that was possible because in the 19th century steam engines were invented, and because of that they can sail from England to India within 3 weeks, which earlier used to take plenty of time. So as a result, more and more British colonies started to establish in India. Now, the English East India Company had a monopoly of business in Indian products. Now, what is monopoly? Monopoly means when you are the sole company or the merchant that will carry out trade, and no other company or no other can carry out trade except you. That is, you have the entire hand in the whole market. That is known as monopoly. So tobacco, salt, betel nut, and some other products that were being only sold by the British East India Company. No other company can sell these things. That was the monopoly. And taking this advantage, that is the advantage of monopoly, other employees of the East India Company also started their own private business. And as a result, the local traders, the Indian traders, they were very hardly hit, and their business shut down or started to decline. Then the East India Company also forced our farmers and the Indian weavers to sell cotton and silk product at a very low rate. And later on, the English East India Company also appointed few middlemen who were known as Gomostha. Now these Gomostha, or the middlemen, they used to go and visit the weavers or the farmers and pressurize them to sell their product, that is cotton and silk, to the East India Company at a very cheap rate, or whatever the demands that the East India Company used to make, they have to fulfill. Who? The Indian weavers and farmers. And these Gomostas used to pressurize them. And if any of the farmers or the weavers refused, then they were severely punished. Apart from that, the weavers were also not allowed to sell their products to any other European merchants or buyers. So we can see that the East India Company was exploiting the Indian weavers, the farmers. And gradually, the Indian weavers, they had to give up their job of weaving because they did not have any raw materials, because they had to sell them to the East India Company at a cheap rate. So the local industry of India was completely destroyed because of the East India Company's policy. And many of the weavers, they became unemployed. Now, if you remember, I have taught you in class 6 or in class 7 also. The East India Company had fought two battles with the Nawabs. One was Battle of Plassey and the other one was Battle of Boxer. Now, Battle of Boxer was fought in the year 1764. That was between Shah Alam II and the East India Company. And the East India Company at the time was headed by Robert Clive. So after the defeat of Shah Alam II in the Battle of Boxer in the year 1764, the very next year, in the year 1765, a treaty was signed between Shah Alam II and Robert Clive, that is the East India Company, at a place called Allahabad, and that was known as Treaty of Allahabad in the year 1765 AD. And according to this treaty, the British East India Company received the Diwani. Diwani means the right of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Now, after obtaining the right, the Diwani, of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. That means the British could directly collect taxes from the Indians. So this was the first step to their political power in India. Apart from collecting taxes, the British East India Company had also introduced some policies or some measurements like the permanent settlement, the Rotary System, and the Mahalwari system. It's given Mahaldari, but it's Mahalwari system under this new act of land revenue. Now we'll discuss about what is permanent settlement, Rotary system and Mahalwari system. So the permanent settlement. Now this was mostly introduced in the state of Bengal, and it was an agreement between the East India Company and the landlords of Bengal to fix the revenue, to increase the revenue, because earlier the revenue was fixed. And so according to this permanent settlement, the British raised or increased the land revenue in the entire Bengal region. And this permanent settlement was introduced by Lord Cornwallis. So the landlords, that we also can call as zamindar, so they collected tax from the farmers or from the peasants, and the taxes at the time was way too high. So because of that, this permanent settlement created a class between the Indian landlords and money lenders. Now, tax was to be paid mostly in cash, and the rate of tax was very high. And also, the East India Company did not take any measures to improve the farming facility. And also, if a farmer could not pay his tax on time, then his land was being seized or taken away by the East India Company. So now the farmers, to escape this, they went to the money lenders to borrow money. And the money lenders used to lend them money at a very high interest, or at a very high rate of interest. And later, those farmers, they could not even pay back the money to the money lenders as well as the tax. So as a result, most of the farmers, they started losing their land. And in this way, the English East India Company occupied much part of India. The next was the Rotary System. Now under this system, every landholders, that is farmers, they have to directly pay the tax to the government. And then if he wants, that is the farmers, if they want, they can increase the land by buying more land, or else if they could not pay the tax, then they can even keep their land as mortgage or give away to the East India Company as a gift. So that means as long as the farmer pays taxes, the land belongs to him, and if not, he can give away the land to the British. This was the Rotary system. Then the Mahalwari system. Now the word Mahalwari, or the Mahal, is actually a Hindi word which means a house or a district. Now in this system, it consisted of landlords, zamindar, and this landlords represents an entire village. So the people living in that particular village, they will have to pay the tax to the landlord, and the landlord to the East India Company. So by now, much of India's land were in the hands of the British. Now there are many reasons why British East India Company were able to gain a strong foothold in India, because many Indian states at that time were not united. For example, there were very powerful states like the Marathas, the Punjab, and Mysore. Now, these states, they failed to put up a strong fight against the East India Company because they were not united against the East India Company. And also, the British, they took the advantage by playing the divide and rule policy. And on the other hand, the British East India Company, they always remained together. They remain united. But for us, the Indians, we were divided by the policy, and we remained divided. And that's why we could not cope up together. We could not unite. And thus, they were able to defeat us. Also, the Indian soldiers, they were not well trained, or they were not as trained as the soldiers of the East India Company, who were better trained and had superior skills and also arms and weapons. Along with that, the East India Company also had a very strong navy, and whereas the Indian kings, they did not have any kind of naval forces. And in this way, the East India Company entered India, or that had came to India for trade and business, but later on gradually started to interfere in India's administration and took everything in their own hand. That's all about this chapter. Now, what you have to do here, since this chapter is over, you have to do all the activity except that is on page 101. That activity you don't have to do. The rest activity, along with the question and answers and short answers, you all have to do it in your school SST copy. You don't have to show, just do it, and when the school reopens later on, I will check everyone's copy. Fill in the blanks, choose the correct word and all, or one word answer. You can do it in the book itself. Thank you.